That time I got reincarnated as a slime, or Tensura for short, is probably one of the most popular isekai titles right now, not just in anime but the light novel as well, and one of its biggest strengths is definitely the world building and detail put into the overall story. Not just that, there's even so much thought that's put into the characters as well, especially when it comes to Rimuru's followers. That's why in today's video, we will be discussing about the 12 Guardian Lords or patrons of Rimuru Tempest. Of course, this video will contain spoilers for the light novel, so you have been warned, and please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribing to the channel for more videos.
こうして冷や汗が止まらない俺を置き去りにジュラの森大同盟は成立したのだ。
So what exactly are the 12 Guardian Lords or patrons of Rimuru Tempest? Well, they are considered to be the top 12 executives of Rimuru. They are the followers who have been awakened as true demon lords and have been bestowed a title of lord from Rimuru himself. Among the 12 executives, 8 were successfully awakened during the rewards ceremony after they defended against the labyrinth attack of the Eastern Empire. These 8 executives who first managed to awaken into true demon lords were Gelt, Gabil, Ranga, Kumara, Zijan, Adalman, Shion, and Diablo, while the other 4 executives that did not yet awaken during the ceremony were Benimaru, the demoness trio Testarossa, Ultima, and Carrera, which I'll give a proper explanation as to why they did not evolve later in the video, but they do eventually get awakened into true demon lords. Of course, we'll first start off with Benimaru, the Minister of Defense, Grand General of the Jura Tempest Federation, and one of the 12 strongest patrons of Rimuru. He was the third group of monsters that had joined Rimuru and was named by him. After being given the name Benimaru, he evolved from an ogre into a Kijin, where he decided to stay at Tempest permanently to serve under Rimuru, and he would become one of his most powerful subordinates for the time. So it goes without saying that he would be selected as the first one to receive the rewards, and thus he was given the title of Flare Lord and received the 100,000 souls required for awakening. But when the souls were transferred to him, the evolution was unable to commence, because when the monster or being awakens as a true demon lord, there is no longer a limit for life expectancy, so the need for children would become obsolete. And Benimaru, being the leader of the ogre tribe that was also on the brink of extinction, had a responsibility to make sure their lineage would be continued, so he couldn't come to terms with this condition, which resulted in the evolution failing. And being the cheeky little fucker Rimuru was, he forced Benimaru to give him an answer on who he wants to marry, but before he could say anything, Momiji, who was also Hakuru's daughter, and Albus stood up proclaiming the both of them wished to marry Benimaru together. Rimuru of course approved of their proposal and allowed Benimaru to marry the both of them after the reward ceremony ended. It was before the final showdown against the Eastern Empire that Benimaru managed to get Momiji and Albus pregnant, so he fulfilled the final condition for evolution and automatically awakened as a true demon lord. He then evolved from a fair Oni into a flame spirit Oni, which is a kind of divine monster spirit, and it's quite similar to the dragon race which Milim and Valdora belongs to. Because he awakened as a true demon lord and during his battle against the Eastern Empire, he was able to unlock the ultimate skill Blazing Sun Lord Amaterasu. Then we have Gelt, one of the 4th group of monsters to be named and accepted by Rimuru after the defeat of the Orc Disaster. As the right-hand man of the deceased Orc Disaster, he personally requested that he and the other Orcs be allowed to work under Rimuru so he could take responsibility for the actions of the Orc Disaster and his people. Gelt was given the same name as the Orc Disaster and given the title of Orc King as a memento and token of appreciation to the person his father was before becoming a corrupted demon lord. He now leads the engineering core of the Jura Tempest Federation, overseeing the construction of civil and defense projects as well as being a combat unit specializing in defensive strategies. When he was called up to receive the reward from Rimuru, he was uneasy about accepting it, fearing that he would lose control like the Orc Disaster, but Rimuru reassured that he would be able to control it and use his new powers to protect everyone. Hearing this, Gelt finally accepted Rimuru's offer to evolve into a true demon lord, and he was given 100,000 souls and the name of Barrier Lord, cementing his place as Rimuru's 12 strongest patrons. He successfully evolves into a true demon lord and he falls asleep, but he will wake up during the final battle against the Eastern Empire. Additionally, as a result of awakening as a true demon lord, he also received the ultimate skill Gourmet King Beelzebub. Gabiu was also part of Rimuru's 12 patrons, and he was part of the 5th group of monsters that was named by Rimuru after the defeat of the Orc disaster. He was originally named by Galman, one of the servants of the Demon Lord Clayman, and he was manipulated by Galman into taking over the Lizardman and going into battle against the Orcs, so the Lizardman could serve as food to turn the Orc Lord into a true Demon Lord. Gabiu's act of treason almost led to the extinction of the Lizardman, so after the war, he was exiled and forbidden to ever return home until he proves himself worthy. Also, because Galman had died, his name status essentially became non-existent, so Rimuru gave him the same name, and he subsequently became his subordinate and evolved into a Dragonute. He now works in the research division of Tempest alongside Vesta, and he's also the leader of the Heryu, considered to be one of the strongest units in Tempest. After receiving the 100,000 souls and given the title of Dragon Lord, his evolution was similar to his ability Dragon Transformation, and unlike Gelt, his transformation was instant. And as a result of becoming a true Demon Lord, Gabiu along with his followers have evolved from Dragonutes to becoming medium Divine Water Spirit Dragonutes, and he also received the ultimate gift, Mind King. Next, we have the good doggo Ranga. He was the second group of monsters to be named by Rimuru after his father, the leader of the Fangwolf tribe, was defeated and absorbed by Rimuru when he attacked the goblin village. Ranga became the leader of the pack and they all decided to become Rimuru's followers. However, when they joined, Ranga was the only one to be given a name by Rimuru, but it still managed to affect the rest of the pack after his evolution. They all evolved into Tempest Wolf, but because Ranga is constantly residing inside Rimuru's shadow, he managed to absorb an insane amount of Magicutes, which led him to quickly evolve into a Star Wolf, and then again into a Tempest Star Wolf. Being such a good doggo, he was given the 100,000 souls and was named Star-Lord Ranga. After receiving the reward, the evolution was almost immediate and he quickly returned back inside Rimuru's shadow as he falls asleep. He awakened into a true Demon Lord during the final battle against the Eastern Empire and had evolved from a Tempest Star Wolf into a Wind Spirit Wolf or a Divine Wolf, which is similar to the Divine Spirit group that Benimaru had evolved into. He also received the ultimate skill Stellar Windlord Hastu upon awakening as a true Demon Lord. The next member of the 12 patrons is the 9-tailed fox Kumara, who was originally a 3-tailed fox spirit enslaved by Demon Lord Clayman. She was freed by Rimuru when his forces attacked Clayman's dominion, and she was taken to Tempest, where she would be under the protection of Ranga. After spending some time in Tempest, Rimuru brought her into the labyrinth built by Ramirez to help manage the forest there, and eventually when the labyrinth was turned into an attraction for Tempest, she became the guardian of the 90th floor. Rimuru also gave her the name Kumara, making her grow all her tails up to 9, and using Rimuru's weakness for small and cute things, she also asked him to name the 8 creatures which was part of her tail, essentially making her the only creature with the combined power of 9 named monsters. After the battle in the labyrinth with the Eastern Empire, she was given 100,000 souls and the title of Chimeric Lord Kumara, evolving into a true Demon Lord and receiving the ultimate skill Bahamut. Because of her awakening, her form changed, with her tails all becoming shining and golden, while her hair became a beautiful mix of silver and gold. And according to Rimuru, she became one of the most beautiful women in the world. Then we have probably the strongest of the 12 patrons in terms of physical power, and that's Zijian. He was an insect monster that was found on the verge of death by Rimuru in the Great Jura Forest one day, trying to protect the wasp Apito from a monster attack. Rimuru decided to help the both of them by giving them some of his slime flesh while also naming them. They were each given the name Zijian and Apito respectively by Rimuru. Zijian at first had the appearance of an extremely large stag beetle, but later he would gain a humanoid form after his training with Valdora inside the labyrinth. Also, according to Rimuru, the current Zijian that had not even awakened as a true Demon Lord yet was very likely already stronger than a normal Demon Lord, and probably could even win against him who had awakened as a true Demon Lord, but it's just speculation, so we don't really know if it's true or not. Now, after receiving the 100,000 souls and the title of Mist Lord from Rimuru, Zijian finally evolved into a true Demon Lord. He and Apito then proceeded to return to the labyrinth, where he cocooned himself to suppress his magical aura from going crazy, and in order to complete his evolution. Apito was the only one to receive a gift from his evolution, and he would also obtain the ultimate skill Illusion King Mephisto. Next is the Undead King Adalman, the initial guardian of the 60th floor of the Labyrinth, but he was later moved to the 70th floor after Rimuru discovered how strong he had become. Before being an Undead King, he was once a cardinal of the Western Saint Church, but he was betrayed by the 7 Celestial Sage when they sent him and his followers to purify the dead spirits that appeared in the Great Jura Forest. Unfortunately, they all died and his friend Ghidorah had tried to revive him, but the spirits of the undead corrupted him, turning him into the Undead King. Then Demon Lord Kazarian wanted to use the undead skills of Adalman, so he cursed and bound him to Claimant's dominion, serving as a defense force. During the war between Tempest and Claimant, Adalman fought against Shuna but was defeated by her, and she managed to purify his curse, giving him freedom once more. He then became somewhat fanatical towards Rimuru after seeing Shuna's faith, seeing him as a god, and pledged his allegiance to Rimuru. After the defeat of the Eastern Empire in the Labyrinth, Adalman was given 100,000 souls and the title of Gehenna Lord by Rimuru. Adalman had initially refused to awaken as a true Demon Lord because he failed to defeat his opponent, but Rimuru convinced him to accept it, so he did. He then evolved from the Undead King into a medium divine death spirit, and also had acquired the ultimate skill Book of Magic, Necronomicon. Moving on, we have the Demoness trio Testarossa, Ultima, and Carrera, all referred to as the white, yellow, and purple primordial demons respectively. They were first scouted by Diablo to serve under Rimuru as part of the newly formed Black Number, a unit composed solely out of elite demons that are under the leadership of Diablo and only serving Rimuru. When they were first summoned to Rimuru and after being named by them, they evolved into Demon Peers, making them more powerful than Demon Lord Claimant. Despite being part of the 12 patrons of Rimuru, they did not receive any souls during the reward ceremony and they were only given titles instead. Testarossa was given the title of Killer Lord, Ultima the title of Pain Lord, and Carrera the title of Madness Lord. Of course, there were actually 3 reasons why they did not receive any awards during the ceremony. The first one being that Rimuru had wanted to awaken the other patrons first, and the number of souls were not enough to awaken all 3 together. Second was that Rimuru had no idea how powerful or dangerous they would become if they were to awaken as true Demon Lords, so he had to awaken Diablo first and gauge the power spike he would acquire. The third reason is that because there has always been a power balance among the Demoness trio, so he couldn't just evolve 1 or 2 of them and had to awaken all 3 together to avoid causing a misbalance of power among them. However, Rimuru did eventually get to awaken the 3 of them together after he had scammed Guy Crimson out of 500,000 souls. Then with the leftover souls Guy gave him, the trio had finally awakened as true Demon Lords during the final battle against the Eastern Empire, and they managed to evolve from Demon Peers into Devil Lords, the highest rank in the Demon class. As for the second last member of Rimuru's 12 patrons, we have Shion, Rimuru's #1 secretary and also bodyguard. She was part of the third group of monsters that Rimuru named, evolving from an ogre to a Kijin. In addition, when she was killed in the Falmer Kingdom attack, she was resurrected along with the other citizens that had died during Rimuru's Harvest Festival. During the resurrection, she evolved into a Wicked Oni and now commands the Yomigairi, a squad composed completely out of the resurrected citizens killed by Falmouth. Shion, being one of Rimuru's strongest and most troublesome fighter, obviously would be given the rewards, but when she accepted the 100,000 souls, there were no changes. However, it wasn't because of some condition that she had to fulfill like Benimaru. The ritual was actually a success because some of her followers were slowly falling asleep, and Rimuru even noticed that some had evolved. We aren't given any explanation whether Shion had actually evolved, but it's at least certain that she has become a true Demon Lord, so she basically now only has the title of Warlord as proof. Finally, we have Diablo, probably the only member of Rimuru's 12 patrons that has the chance to compete with Zijian to be called the strongest. He was summoned when Rimuru was evolving into a true Demon Lord and pledged his loyalty to him. He was then given the name of Diablo and subsequently evolved into a Demon Peer. He's the second secretary and butler of Rimuru. He's also responsible for the creation of the Black Number after he recruited hundreds of other demons, including the Demoness trio. During the reward ceremony, Diablo was given 100,000 souls and the title of Devil Lord by Rimuru, thus evolving into an awakened true Demon Lord. According to Rimuru, Diablo's awakening also seemed like nothing happened, but Rimuru knew that he was just perfectly controlling all of his increased powers, making him the top 3 strongest patron of Rimuru right now. And I'll leave the ranking of who is strongest up to you guys. Also, thanks to the awakening, he acquired an ultimate skill called Temptation King Azazel. And similar to Shion, his followers received the gift of evolution as well. His subordinate Venom evolved into a Demon Peer, while the 100 demon troops under him became elite Demon Knights.
リムル 甘美な響きです。それでは今後はリムル様と。
So yeah, that's basically it for the 12 Guardian Lords or Patrons of Rimuru. Did you manage to learn anything new about the lore and characters? Which one of the 12 patrons is your favorite? Also, did you want to see more stuff like this? And if you do, please let me know in the comment section down below along with your thoughts on the 12 patrons. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for more videos. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe everyone.